Here we go. It's the Down Beach Buzz podcast for February 6, 2026, with Sherry Lilienfeld of eXp Realty. Buy, sell, commercial, residential. Call Sherry. Go to realtysherry.com. And coming soon, Sustainable Sherry, her true love, saving the planet. And Paul Scollage is here. He is back from some type of deep sea adventure. There's Moby Dick or something was involved. We're still trying to figure that out. Paul Scollage of rate.com. He's a great sponsor. And whether it's refis or cash out or mortgage rates, he's the man. Just talk money, talk sticky buns over there at Averses in Brigantine. Go to rate.com and ask for Paul Scollage. All right. Paul, let's go right into the money stuff. A lot of great stuff. Bring us up to date on some of the best rates. I want a 30-year fixed. I got good credit. What can you do for me? And number two, maybe the most important part of the story here is a new Fed chairman coming down the pike. What's up with that?
Yeah, so I mean, there's a lot that's happened since last being on. I think, for us, finally, I could say we're actually in a good pattern, meaning, we're finally seeing rates consistently, below the 6% mark in a lot of different cases, depending upon credit and so forth. But, 6 months ago, 7 months ago, we looked at this and, you're in the mid to upper sixes. In some cases, you're even sitting at 7%. So there's two different ways to look at it. There's your primary residence rate, which is great. And then there's the second home rate, which is slightly elevated. So, right now, finally, I say that we're trending in the right direction where you can get a 30-year fixed mortgage below 6%. And in some cases, you can even be in like the mid 5%, depending upon how much you put down, depending upon, what your credit score looks like. So, the other big news is we're starting to see more and more people look into ARM products, which are adjustable rate mortgages. And basically what it is that you have an opportunity to get into a house with a lower rate for the first 5 years, or even the first 7 years, or even the first 10 years. And what that does is that rate is amortized over a 30-year period, but it's fixed for 5 years, meaning it can never change for the first 5 years. And what it does is it gets you into a lower rate where you're starting to see a 4 in front of things, whether it's, 4.99 or 4.875, depending upon credit score, depending upon loan to value. But ARM products are starting to see more popularity with them because, again, you can buy a house and getting to this low interest rate for the first 5 years. But the thought process is that we're going to start to see some really good relief in interest rates as we get into 2027, which would allow that person that goes into the ARM product to be able to refinance out of it. So, when I'm talking to clients right now, I'm letting them know whatever program that you go into or whatever rate you go into for your purchase, this is a short-term program. You will absolutely set yourself up to refinance out of this loan probably within the next 12 to 18 months. You settle in April of this year. Next April, we could actually potentially see a 0.75% or even a 1% reduction in the rate that you currently have.
So real quick question. So in an ARM, an adjustable rate mortgage, people kind of loosen up to these adjustable rate mortgages when there's a trajectory of either plateauing or slightly lowering the rate. That's a comfort zone. And it seems like we should be inching downwards no matter how. The trajectory is the most important thing there, right?
Yeah. And there's a security, and people want the security of knowing that, rates are projected to get better. So if you look back during right after COVID, if someone told me they wanted to go into an ARM, I would really kind of talk them out of it because honestly, no one knew where the rates were going to go after COVID. I mean, if you were in an ARM product, your potential rate could have gone up. However, if you get into an ARM now and it's ready to adjust in that 5th year, there's a good chance in 5 years down the road, rates are better. That ARM rate could get lower versus actually going up. And how it works is it's fixed for 5 years. In the year 6, it can adjust 1% in the first 6 months. And in the second 6 months, it can go up or down that 1%. So the max it could go up in 1 year would be 2% on the actual note rate. So ARMs are starting to be more popular. But the good news right now is we're going to see a new Fed chairman. I believe it's going to be March 1st, which currently right now I think everyone knows that the current administration and the current Chairman Powell, they just really don't see eye to eye. So I think it's good for all of us to see the future of rates potentially start to get better. I think I talked about it before. We're in a landlocked. No one wants to sell their house right now, and Sherry can kind of chime in here. But people that have an interest rate of 3.5%, 4%, they don't want to sell. They don't want to go and take a lateral move and go to 6% or 6.5%. They're going to take a lateral move and their payment's going to go up. We need rates in the mid to low fives for people to start wanting to sell again. We'll get there. It's just a matter of time. But I do believe that, this time next year, we'll be in a better financial situation with interest rates.
And how about you, Sherry? Sherry Lilienfeld, do you concur with Paul Scollage of Rate.com?
I do concur. And yes, we do get a little landlocked. We are low in inventory. Paul, I'm curious, what are those rates for those arms? Like, can you give us an idea of what some arms are that I can explain to my clients to consider?
Yeah. So, if you're looking at a 5.6 arm, you have good credit, 760, 780. Right now on a 5.1 arm, 5.6 arm, you're looking at a rate of anywhere between 4.99 and 5.125%, depending upon credit, depending upon loan to value and your down payment. So it just gets a client that says, you know what, I don't want to get a second home rate at 6.25% or 6.5%. I'll take advantage of this lower arm product. I know that I have a 5-year window that I have to refinance out of it at some point. It gets me into the property at the monthly payment that I was looking for, that'll set me up for that refinance opportunity down the road.
So does Rate.com offer with the refinance? Let's say someone goes with Rate for their arm and they want to refinance. What kind of fees are they seeing to refinance with you guys over like somebody else?
Yeah, so we have a program where we will actually cover all of your lender fees for the first 3 years if you come back to us. Now, I can tell you right now, if you're in my system and I have done a loan for you, we have what's called trigger leads, where we know once the rate gets to a certain percentage, either myself or my team is going to be reaching out to that client, letting them know that a refinance is a great opportunity right now. So refinances are at an all-time high right now, not to where we were the levels during COVID, but anyone that bought over the last 2 to 2.5 years, some of them have rates with 8s in front of it, 8.5, 8.25. So we are in a high traffic refinance influx right now where, we're starting to see more and more people look to refi. And if people have cash in their house, right, they have cash. We talked about doing cash out refinances and taking the cash out of their house and then using that cash to leverage to buy something in the second home market down at the beach and so forth. So, we are trending in the right direction. And I see the future is bright for the next 16, 18, even 24 months.
Let me, maybe Sherry maybe you can dovetail on this, Sherry. What about high rises? What about condos? Are you guys lending for condominiums, or is it a little tougher because of the reserves and the maintenance fees and all that stuff?
Yeah, I think we've talked about this in the past. Condos right now are probably at the most challenging point that I have ever seen since I've been in the business for 17 years. We talked about that collapse in Miami. I think it was probably 2 or maybe 2.5 years ago. It really set the tone for the investors to check on each condo and the status of the condo, whether it's, the budget. We want to make sure that financially it's secure. We have a condo questionnaire that we send out. We want to make sure that the condo is in good deferred maintenance. What I mean by that is making sure that it's staying up to speed on what it's supposed to in terms of the maintenance programs. The other key thing right now is the insurance. Insurance is a major problem with condos. And a lot of times it's inadequate coverage, or the policy is missing certain things, whether it's wind, whether it's whatever the case may be. And it's putting that condo in what's called a non-warrantable status. Once you're non-warrantable, you cannot get traditional financing. What I mean by that is Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac traditional 30-year fixed mortgages. When you're looking at stuff, you have to go non-traditional, which come with larger down payments, which come with higher interest rates. So, if anybody that I pre-approve that Sherry gives me, and they're looking in that second home shore market or even outside of the shore, anytime they're looking at condos, I want to make sure that condo is on Fannie Mae or Freddie Mac's approved list to make sure it's a warrantable condo. When it's not, it really makes things challenging because, one, the client's got to put more down. Two, the client has to have is subject to a higher interest rate. So, again, condos are very tricky, and I don't see any relief in what we see for the future in terms of them getting any easier to get financing on.
Sherry, I'm going to ask you, is this issue that big of a deal along the shore? I'm assuming, we talked about it before, somebody buying a condo, probably you're paying cash, so borrowing money not as important. Is that kind of true down the shore here?
Well, we do obviously see more people with cash. Like Paul was saying, they'll take equity out of their primary home and buy with cash because they want to make a quick purchase. But what is a big issue are the assessments. We are seeing so many assessments, again, because ever since that condo building came down in Florida, condo HOAs, they have to do inspections every 2 years, engineering inspections, and they are not deferring this maintenance anymore. They don't want to be responsible for that. So the big issue is more the assessments, who's paying for the assessments, living through the work that's going on with the assessments. You've seen buildings on the boardwalk that have had the facades being redone. Ocean Club had all their porches being redone. I mean, that is more the problem. Like, why am I buying and going to have to pay for this and live through this when I can't enjoy my shore home?
Your thoughts on that, Paul?
Yeah, it's very common. Sherry and I had a condo that we had in Margate. I believe it was like through the end of the summer last year that had inadequate insurance. So what happens then is that if it's a large condominium, the association has to get to every member in the association, every owner, and have to ask if they're willing to increase the coverage, which in turn is going to increase their monthly HOA. So it's a problem. Unfortunately, I don't see any signs of relief. But the good news is that there's typically always alternative financing available. But the other part is you got to worry about the resale value, right? You're going to buy a non-warrantable condo, and then you want to go then sell this property. Like, that person either has to buy cash, they have to do non-traditional financing. So in my opinion, in some cases, it could be less attractive if you're buying in a condo that's non-warrantable if you ever want to sell the property. Now, if you're going to hold on to the property forever and it's an investment, it's a whole different story. But you just got to be careful. That's all.
So do you think erosion, beach erosion, some of the Jersey Shore towns are dealing with the lack of replenishment? Is this playing a role in Sherry's business of doing local real estate, or Paul with financing of a shore home? Erosion, how big of a deal is it this summer for 2026?
I think it's a problem up and down the coast. I don't think it has a lot of impact on financing situation. Maybe a client is going to be less likely to buy in an area where there's less beach, but it won't have any impact on what we do. I just think it's going to be a client's preference on, hey, you want to go there or not? I mean, you look at Wildwood. I think it's one of the longest beaches ever. So it's like, do they want to go somewhere where there's plenty of beach? Or, I mean, it's definitely a problem with erosion. I mean, I've been up and down the coast with the boat, and it's, things are getting worse and worse.
What do you think, Cher?
I think we've seen so many beach replenishment projects that I don't feel like people get really concerned about it, because they feel like, well, the Army Corps of Engineers is going to come in and replenish it. But on the other side of it, I always feel like you can't fight Mother Nature. We try so hard to keep on fighting Mother Nature, with this whole replenishment. You have a property at the shore. There are known risks at the shore. Either you're buying at the shore and you're accepting those risks and what comes with it, or you're not. So, and I think people pretty much understand that these are natural things that happen at the shore.
Yeah, yeah. Paul, I'm not sure what your schedule is, but maybe a few moments we could talk about this new superhero that is flying
Yeah,
over the down. Yeah, can I show you what's happening in our skies, keeping us safe?
I would never miss it. I don't care what I have to do. I would never miss it. There she is.
Yes, it's
Look
the
at this.
sustainable. It's sustainablesherry.com. In between doing deals, being one of the most popular real estate agents along the Down Beach area, I don't know how she finds the time. She's like Bruce Wayne. You know, Bruce Wayne is, managing a big corporate entity, but in his spare time, he's fighting crime. Sherry, Sustainable Sherry, is fighting fighting anybody that's trying to mess with our environment. Is that right, Sherry?
Yes, but as you know, the environment and real estate, they go hand in hand, right? People are buying at the shore because of our environment, and they want to see clean beaches, and they don't want to drink water that has lead in it. And, so to me, they go hand in hand. And honestly, one thing that got me started in all this is when I would sell a house, there would be a garage full of toxic stuff, the paints and the solvents. And people are like, well, what do I do with this? And of course, I didn't want to see them dump it or throw it in a landfill, and there's ways to dispose of it. So one of the things I do as a realtor is I'm always trying to educate my clients on proper ways to dispose of things and recycle things, because we all have to work together on this. So yes, this is my latest blog post where I talk about e-recycling. Okay, quick quiz. Do you know what e-recycling is? Come on, Paul, do you know?
I do not. No.
So e-recycling is electronics recycling. Your TVs. We have Super Bowl coming up. People want to get brand new TV. What do you do with that TV? You're getting a new computer. You're getting a new cell phone. People are constantly, upgrading these items. So I wrote an article about e-recycling because, for one, over about 28 states it's illegal to throw away electronic waste. So illegal to throw your old laptop in the trash. And yes, one of the things, well, this is the positive side of it. If you go down to there's harmful stuff in electronic items. They have lead, mercury, cadmium. It gets into our groundwater, gets into the soil. There's so many toxins in electronic devices, but also these are valuable elements that can then be recycled. So in New Jersey, it is illegal to throw away your electronic devices. Now, in Margate, if you go to the dump, you bring your stuff to Public Works, there's a big green truck where it's just loaded with old TVs and computers, and there's a number you can call. You don't want to drive there, call the number. The first Tuesday of the month, they come pick it up. But what people don't realize, it is illegal in the state of New Jersey to throw this away. It is illegal in over 28 states to throw away your electronics. Our local municipality vendor is ACUA. And if you go on their website, they will tell you all kinds of places you can go. Staples takes away e-waste. So Sustainable Sherry is just trying to educate people on actually the law and what to do with these items and how to keep our environment free of these toxins and contaminants. So yeah, you can go to my website, sustainablesherry.com, and I have all kinds of articles on different things. Just, again, trying to create awareness that people just weren't aware of, that this is important. And like I said, Super Bowl's coming up. People are getting those big TVs. I know I'm going to see a bunch of TVs out on the street, but you got to call your local municipality and find out how to properly dispose of your e-waste.
Her name is Sherry, super real estate pro. Sherry, super duper realtor to the stars.
What a song.
You're
awesome.
funny. Paul has a song too, though. How come you're not playing Paul's song?
I do have a nice song. There we go.
Paul's my bro from rate.com, crunching numbers like a math bomb. Refund magic, he's got the knack, turning loans with a click clack.
Yeah, love it.
Is that an accurate?
Wait, turning loans with the click clack.
That's great.
I love it.
I love it.
Anyway.
It's true though. In Brigantine, they do have the dump, and there's specific spots to put your TVs, and they do recycle everything. So,
well, it's because it's illegal to throw it away. They should, they should make it easy.
they definitely make it easy.
I do want to mention that John from DownbeachBUZZ designed my site for me. He's an amazing media guy, and he really helped me out. He made it easy for me to do my own updates. Okay, wait, is she okay? This is the Tilly thing.
There she is. Look at that.
Wow. There we go. He loves this.
Look at this. What a great background. I love it.
Oh my God. You're funny. Oh, here we go. There's my Tilly. Woo!
Wow, look at that.
I don't know what's going on, but we've created a monster, Paul. I think we did.
Great. I love it. I love it. I love it.
Yeah.
I got to get one for me, but this is great.
Paul, I'm going to buy you a cape and a mask, and then you're going to be superhero mortgage man.
We'll do it up. Superman. I'll be Superman of mortgage power. That's great.
Mortgage man. Oh, there we go. Mortgage man.
Mortgage
Anything
man.
else? Anything else, Paul? You want to hang a little longer, or
I'm gonna rock and roll with it, you guys. I appreciate everything and enjoy. Okay.
just one more thing, Paul.
Yes.
Master of finance in his prime, turning pennies into dime. Paul see my bro from rate.com, crunching numbers like a math bomb. Refi magic, he's got the knack, turning loans with a click clack.
Priceless, man. It's priceless.
What a
You guys have
all right, Paul. Have a good
great
one, man.
day. See you guys.
Take care.
So the only thing I just really want to mention is the real estate season we're coming into. So typically, traditionally, after New Year's, after the Super Bowl, we've also had very cold weather. We expect this is when our market really heats up. The inventory is really low now. Now we're in February, so expect to see more homes hitting the market. We're definitely low on inventory. I'm happy to give anyone a free market analysis so they can have an idea what their home is worth. If you're sitting on the fence, I'm here to work with you. Any home that I list, DownbeachBUZZ helps me market. What's that mug for? Are you showing me something? Oh, any home I list, DownbeachBUZZ helps me market, and we have an amazing following. So you get tremendous coverage.
Why don't you just remind everybody how awesome the Scott Abbott, the solicitor of Margate. We did a podcast with him a few weeks ago,
Yeah.
and it was all about the Back Bay dredging and the permitting, right?
No, thank you for reminding me that, because the first thing I wanted to mention was now's the time to put your home on the market. But the other thing that we do is we really try to educate people on what is going on at the shore. Solicitor Scott Abbott, he's incredible. He's lived here. He knows the bay and the ocean and the tides, and he has books, like real books, not just AI. He has real books on water and maps of what the water used to be like way back. Anyway, we did a podcast on the dredging permit project. It was January 23rd. It's a half an hour podcast, and we're going to be rolling out short segments from that. But everyone has questions. What is going on in our Back Bay? What is all that equipment? And Solicitor Abbott answered those questions. Moving forward, yeah, there we go. Great video. Yeah, I mean,
You can talk over the video. Go ahead.
okay, thank you. Great video. I do want to mention that the one of the future podcasts we want to have is this base flood elevation height. There's talk about FEMA raising that height, which means houses are going to be even higher if they weren't high enough. So we're going to have Roger McLaren come on. Roger not only works with Margate, he works with Ventnor and Summers Point, and he has so many credentials. I can't even begin to go into how qualified he is to talk about this and what it means to builders. Yeah, there's the article you have, the video on builders brace for higher base flood elevation, what that means to building in our towns. So that's a future one. So yeah, we're so excited to be having these great guest speakers with us to educate everyone. And that is our goal. That, you know, they say an educated consumer is the best consumer. And that's what we believe. And that's clearly what I believe. That's why I'm always trying to educate people on the law and recycling or whatever it is that affects your property value.
Okay, so just in case, a little recap of all the different stories we posted on DownbeachBUZZ.com. Don't forget, you have a search box up here in order to search the entire almost 10 years of information we've put together. The Down Beach newsletter, what are you, nuts? Make sure you put your email in here. There's no spam, none of that. So some stories about higher base flood elevation. New construction having to be upwards of maybe 5 additional feet of elevation. Plus, there's more discussion here. The former mayor of Ventnor, Tim Kreischer, has been doing a great job keeping tabs on all this new construction. The 33 new Ventnor townhomes coming on board very soon over there by the old Ventnor School. Ducktown Tavern is a place to be for Super Bowl Sunday. Ducktown Tavern. Oh my gosh, the wings they're just freaking awesome. Free parking. New e-bike laws, crazy but necessary. Maybe too heavy-handed, but we'll find out. Great story on Storybook Land. And then, of course, there's a big brouhaha. Is there another shot here at trying to consolidate Jersey school districts? Mandatory consolidation ahead. Jersey Shore school mergers. And that's freaking everybody out. So check that story out, because Ventnor, Margate, and Brigantine could be connected to this threat of forced school mergers. Imagine having Laquetta Small being in charge of your district. That's a very wonderful thought. Maybe not. This is a big one. We have some old video from 2013 of Mayor Mike Bagnell, the former Ventnor mayor. He agreed to be on the podcast in the very near future. This is me interviewing Mike Bagnell, the former Ventnor mayor, 10 years ago down there at Playground Pier in front of Caesars. So, and he was a fireman. Did you know that? Mayor Bagnell in '93 was honored with a first-class Valor Award from the Firefighters Association because of a high-risk emergency incident. That guy is the man. He really was a great mayor. And there's some great video here of the Monaco Motel when they knocked it down. That was a big deal. That took forever to knock that thing down. So just a couple more stories I just wanted to share with everybody. Congratulations to our brand new Longport Chief of Police, Ray Bergen. Over in Brigantine, people are kind of bummed out. They're afraid they're going to lose a superior restaurant, Cordivares. It looks like the owner of this property is actually, at one time, it was Mad Dog Morgan's. Another, at one time long ago, you could tell by the structure, it was a Wawa. As a kid, we used to rent right across from this building. But Cordivares and this building, this property, has been sold to somebody. And people are fearful that it could be converted from commercial to residential homes. And Mayor Sarah already stepped up. He already stepped up and said, no way, that's not going to happen. But we shall soon see. We love Cordivares, and people do not want to lose Cordivares and replace it with 2 new big giant homes that will sit empty a lot of the time. That's pretty crazy. But keep in mind, Cher, Vince Sarah jumped on this right away, the mayor of Brigantine. Brigantine City Council does not support and will not support the rezoning of commercial properties solely for residential development. Many people from the community have reached out with concerns about the potential of rezoning the commercial properties into residential use. So we'll see how it pans out, because you got to figure the people who bought this property, did they think they might convert it into a much more profitable 2 big side-by-side McMansions? I don't know. But people are bummed out that Brigantine, they're losing restaurants. And that is not a good thing. And Cordivares is beloved as well. Your thoughts on that? Have you ever gone to Cordivares? I never had a chance to go there. I'm kind of bummed about that.
I have not, but those pictures look delicious. I got hungry just looking at them.
And speaking of delicious.
Delicious.
That's the very handsome Troy Rosenzweig. And a lot of people see him as delicious. They have told me that. What? What's so funny?
I'm sorry.
Now look at that. Look at that smile, the hair. So anyway, he's having an open house, and as you know, this is the king of do new. He figured out that new construction could be his strong suit. So he is so happy to be representing 6 new townhomes right there on Washington Avenue, 201 Washington Avenue. And then coming up, we're going to have an open house on Feb 21 where you can meet Troy Rosenzweig as well as Mitchell Davis, the developer behind this project. It'll be ready by midsummer at the very least, right, Cher? Can't hear you though.
I'm sorry. I think some of them, yeah. I mean, so 2 are under contract. I'm guessing they're going to obviously try to get those done first. And then there's still 4 that are available. So yeah. We'll learn more at the open house as well. But now it's all framed out so you can walk through the space, which is very helpful. Yeah, great picture. So you can see the location. Oh yeah.
You can talk over the video.
I know. I was looking at it. I thought that was
no, you're not supposed to. You're supposed to talk over it because people are looking. Now, come on, you can.
All right. Well, anyway, you can see the location. It's down the street from Tomatoes. Mitchell Davis Enterprises are fantastic builders. It's a family business, multi-generational. They know what they're doing. They build a quality product. Yeah, so I'm sure anyone that purchases these will not be disappointed. I'm happy to talk to anyone and represent them as a buyer's agent, walk them through, help with the negotiations of final finishes, things like that. But yeah, you could get a view of the water, and that is soon to be dredged bay area. And there's parking in the back of these. So they put the decks in the front so you can look up Washington Avenue. By the way, Washington Avenue is also being redone, and it's going to be made a one-way street, and more streetscaping. So it's going to be prettied up and more residential, neighborly like. So yeah, it's a great project, fantastic developer who just does class builds.
And what about this handsome guy?
So Troy is the listing agent, and Troy represents the owner. So if you don't want to have someone represent you exclusively as a buyer, then you can call me. But Troy's the listing agent, and you made a comment about Troy, which is true. Like Troy.
Wait. That he's delicious looking?
No, I'm not talking about delicious. Would you must be hungry for lunch or something. Like, no.
All I know is this guy's the king of new construction. He loves it. He loves it. He loves it. Loves it.
Yes. Let me finish my thought.
Okay.
Way back, Atlantic City came up with a marketing slogan, which was do AC. And I forget how long ago that was, maybe 10, 15 years ago. Well, when that came out, Phyllis and Troy, when Troy came out with do new. So he took that do AC thing that was everywhere because everybody knew that slogan, and he did do new. And that was well before this whole building boom came off. But Troy's background is he's a builder. He was a builder. He understands construction inside and out. So he had great rapport with builders. He could talk to them. He could talk up the construction. Anyway, your point was he was ahead of the curve in that now all you see is new construction. So yes, Troy's very well qualified to talk about it. Not to say you don't need a buyer's agent to ask all the right questions to make sure that you're negotiating well with any upgrades, with any finishing touches, to help review your contracts, to make sure that you're not going to be paying what is called in new construction change orders, right? You go into a price with new construction, you go into a price, they give you a spec sheet. And for most people, you're like, what is, like, I don't even know what this means. I don't even know if this allowance could buy me anything, anything worthwhile. So that's when you need a buyer's agent. And I also suggest you have an attorney for new construction, because there's a lot. It's not just like buying a house. It's not as straightforward. So also an attorney is very important. Anyway,
I would pay a handsome price to sit in the front row of a negotiation between you, Sherry Lilienfeld, and Troy Rosenzweig. Listen, if you want to buy one of these awesome properties, only 4 left, just 4 left, I would highly recommend hiring Sherry, because it'll be very entertaining to watch Sherry go up against Troy Rosenzweig, 2 professionals who are excellent at what they do, and it'll be awesome. It would be killer. Don't you think? You got to imagine. And Troy it would just be great. It would be awesome.
Troy's very smooth, and I tend not to get flustered in negotiations despite someone trying to fluster me. So yeah, between the 2 of us, I'm sure it'd be pretty interesting negotiation.
But Troy knows his construction, his building
Yeah.
materials. He can do it in his sleep. So whatever the case may be, if you call Sherry or Troy, either way, or you call Mitchell, the developer, just to say hi. Say, I wanted to see you can meet Mitchell. Mitchell Davis will be there on February 21 at 201 Washington Avenue. It's an open house, so you can meet Troy, you can meet Mitchell, maybe myself, maybe Sherry will stop by, but it should be a good time, and you get to see the current iteration of these 6 beautiful luxury townhomes. 2 are already under contract, I think, and we got 4 left, just 4 left. And I would get your in your little fanny perpendicular in gear and get one of these last 4 properties. So, because the prices are staying pretty firm, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes, and they're in the low 2 million range.
Yeah.
And yes, I am planning to be there as well.
Okay.
So.
Okay. All right. I think I think I got all the stories. No, I just wanted to talk about that. So congratulations to Chief Ray Bergen, Court of Heirs we talked about. Tim Kreischer. Tim Kreischer is just really keeping track of all the different construction and issues related to Ventnor, doing a great job. Nice story about our good friend Bart Blatstein and Mayor Marty Small. Surf and Sand, a new sponsor, Surf and Sand residential and commercial cleaning. These guys are the best. Go to the story, Surf and Sand, Down Beach Home and Business Owners Trust, Surf and Sand Cleaning, and the lovely, very smart and talented, soon to be on the podcast, another EXP realtor, and that is Barbara Capozzi from Longport and South Philly. She has this great development down in Packer Park, these beautiful townhomes. She's the best of South Philly and Longport. She's Barbara Capozzi, and she's a firecracker, Sherry. I can't wait to see you 2 together. It's going to be awesome.
I do want to say something about this development. If I recall, It was built modularly, which personally I think is the best way to build. Let me tell you why. If you look at the construction that's going on now, and actually I just had a conversation with a colleague of mine about it. They are building foundations in the freezing cold. You're not supposed to do that. It's against regulations because the concrete cannot cure. There's snow. These people are cold. They're probably making mistakes. But when a property is built and put together modularly, it's built in a controlled environment. It's reproducible, how it's built, with high quality standards. And basically you bring in the components of the home. It's like building blocks. And they put it together, and it's much better quality, in my opinion, because it's not subjected to environmental problems. And again, when I'm driving and I'm seeing people lay cement block in this cold, all I can think is I wouldn't want to live in a house with a foundation that was put together in the freezing cold, because that doesn't cure. It doesn't cure. It's supposed to be above 36 degrees for a week.
So would you like to talk about the awesome interior? It's a beautiful place, beautiful set of homes.
I mean, yeah. And then, right, her finishes are outstanding. Obviously, it has the elevator, great taste in the decor that was picked. And I'm not talking about the furnishings. I'm talking about the flooring, the kitchen. You had shown the kitchen before. The lighting fixtures are modern and nice, but not overdone.
Right. You get a garage, too.
You get a garage. And what is the distance again from here, from these 45 minutes or an hour most?
It's under an hour to get to Longport to South Philly. Yeah.
Yeah. You know, the fact that the closets are done, some places when you buy new construction, they don't even do the closets. Like that's an additional. They, you know, and that could cost thousands of dollars. So yeah, very well done. Great location, especially if you like to buzz down Atlantic City Expressway to the shore. And that's Barbara, former another EXP realtor.
That's the, if you want more detail, go to packerparknewhomes.com, packerparknewhomes.com. And I would assume you are just a few steps away from Skinny Joey's cheesesteaks, which I have not enjoyed yet, but I plan on doing that. I think it's close by, I think.
Couldn't tell you.
Yeah, he doesn't ring a bell or anything.
Obviously, we're all hungry because you put up those pictures up before.
Yeah. The boardwalk got some great boardwalk updates, and make sure you get a shot at watching the podcast where we talk to Solicitor Scott Abbott and the brand new dredge permits. After 10 years, Margate gets citywide dredge permits from both the Army Corps and the Department of Environmental Protection. And you go, Sheriff Tokyo Joe, the inspiring leadership of Sheriff Tokyo Joe O'Donoghue. He's the best. He is the best.
He is so great. Do you know he has like 9 kids or something? Like this man is like unbelievable. And he's such a great sheriff, and he always shows up. He's always shows up. He's not just like an office guy.
Let me give you a little rundown. And that's Tokyo Joe with the police chief of Margate and the outgoing police chief of Longport, Mr. Clumone. Happy guy, and he's a lawman. He is a lawman. And I just wanted to correct you briefly. The O'Donoghue legacy grows 29 grandchildren and 13.
He has 12 children. I thought it was 9. 12 children.
Yeah, just let me, I just don't want us to talk over each other. So he's the proud father of 12 children. 5 of his children are in law enforcement, and he has 29 grandchildren and 13 great-grandchildren. How does he have time to be a sheriff? You know?
That's what I mean. He's so impressive, but he always shows up. It's not like he's home taking care of the grandkids or great-grandkids.
Yeah, you guys better vote him in again, because it's been a long time since Atlantic County, this area, had a lawman, and this guy is a lovable lawman. He believes in the rule of law. It's pretty simple. Some people, law, schmall. But anyway, Sheriff Tokyo Joe, we love that guy. All right, is that about it, Sheriff? I think I'm about, because I don't want to talk about Mayor Marty's small choice.
No small. No, I think that's it.
His fashion, are you sure? His fashion statement is very nice. All right, that's about it.
All right. Well, thank you so much. And I hope people are ready for the spring and the spring real estate season and changing up your home if that's what you want. And feel free to call me for free market analysis. I'm happy to provide that and tell you how the market affects your home's value.